In this episode, we'll explore some of the many attractions you can get to quickly from the super affordable Cedar Point Campground in the Croatan National Forest in North Carolina. This is Part B, the attractions and features. We'll show you many places to visit from Cedar Point, and they are amazingly close to the campground. There are lots of overpriced restaurants, but we'll show you a few gems you can be sure to visit, and much more.
My dogs and my bride, we're living wild and free. On the road for a wild ride, just my love and me. Moving slow from the hills to the sea. Every mile is a memory, exploring in our travel RV.
You know, I like to save the best for the middle or for the last even, but this place right here, in my opinion, was the highlight of the whole vacation. It's called Amuse Me, and it did amuse me. I've never seen such a collection. What you would normally think would be junk was presented in such an artful, interesting way. You almost want to buy all the stuff that's in here. We're going to come back to this, and I'll show you the inside, but I wanted to give you a little teaser. This is a gym in Swansboro, and it's a must-go-to if you want to have a lot of fun looking at a lot of old stuff and stuff that you probably haven't seen since you were a kid, maybe even before you were born. Anyhow, we're coming back to it, but this is a teaser. Consider this to be a taste. And speaking of a taste, I got to tell you, there were all kinds of restaurants in this area, and we struck out on just about every one. It was either overpriced and uninteresting, or it just simply wasn't very tasty. We did have two great meals, and I will be sure to tell you where we got these great meals. This food right here looks delicious, doesn't it? But for Candy and I, we just didn't like the flavors. I'll also take you to downtown Swansboro, which is like a little town somewhere out of Mayberry, but maybe even more fun. It's one of those places you'd love to visit or even live there. In fact, I think I could live there. So I was going to make this part of an intro, but since we're here in downtown, Old Town Swansboro, I'll go ahead and show you the walk around. Right now we're walking by a restaurant called Boro's. It's a seafood boil restaurant, and it smells delicious. I wish we had gone here for lunch, but we never got around to it. The week that we were here, it was predicted to rain and storm every day. Thankfully, it did not, and we did get out a lot, but I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do. If you do head to downtown Swansboro and you eat at Boro, please let us know what it's like. I'm curious to know how well it tasted. There's not a lot of restaurants in this area that we were pleased with. Hopefully this would be one that we would. You can see by the menu, it's quite a delicious looking seafood restaurant. I can't tell you about the prices, but I can tell you that this entire area is somewhat overpriced. We spent $70 for lunch at a different restaurant, and it wasn't even worth it. I'll tell you about that when we get to that particular restaurant. Maybe you give it a try, maybe you avoid it. I'll let you decide. I can tell you that we did not eat at Boro's, but I can tell you also that it looks like one of them places where you're going to get the delicious meal that you're looking for. It surely smelled good, but my gut feeling tells me that if we were to have eaten here, we would have thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, we're back here on Front Street. Old Town Swansboro is quite a sight to see. The businesses seem as if they have been here forever, and seem to have retained their original character and uniqueness from back in the day when they were built. I went into a couple of these stores. Russell's Old Time Shop was one of them, and I went into a couple of other places too. But the real treat is Amuse Me, which I'll get to later. That's off the main drag. Here we have Front Street Grocery. I didn't go in there, but the store had loud music playing outside, and I have to mute that because I don't want a copyright strike. Right here is Yana's, the old drugstore restaurant. This place was packed when I came through earlier. Yana's was created out of an old drugstore back in 1983, but it's got a tremendous 50s vibe. And although he's not there today, often there's an Elvis Presley statue standing out front to attract customers in. Across the street, we have a variety of old buildings. Among them is the Old Brick Store, built in 1839. I have a photo of the building before it was modernized, and it's up on the right side of your screen. The Old Brick Store has served many functions throughout the years. Church services and school were held in the building in the 1890s. It also served as the post office during the early 1900s. This is considered to be the main dock area of downtown Swansboro. I didn't walk down to it because honestly that dock seems anemic to the first one that I was on. Let's continue walking up the street, and when I get back to the other side, I'll tell you a little bit more about the Old Brick Store. I didn't go into any of these stores, but I wanted to show you a little bit about what was in each of these stores. This was originally built in 1900. Each of these buildings, most of them anyhow, have a plaque that tell you what the original building was and when it was built. This, of course, is a real estate office. I was tempted to look at the prices, but I didn't. I already knew they would irritate me. Anyhow, not sure what this building is here. It was closed, so I didn't get a chance to go inside. Looks like a heck of a store to walk into, but it's not going to top Amuse Me, I'm pretty sure about that. And I'll be getting to that in a little bit. I like the exterior decor, no doubt. See if we can take a peek inside. It looks interesting. Now, earlier when I went through the town, the place was packed. I mean, there were hundreds of people outside these buildings. We drove through in the car. It's kind of like a trip to a different place altogether. This right here is actually Main Street. Maybe we'll drive down it. But it looks like it's mostly residential. And we are back at the Old Brick Store again. I want to tell you a little bit more about it. The Old Brick Store was, according to the Library of Congress, was built by William P. Farrand, and it was built, according to them, in 1819 on land he purchased from a Captain Ottaway Burns of Beaufort. No matter how you see it, it's an old relic, and it is restored to the beautiful building it is as it stands today. Today it's used as a brick house boutique. This next store is called the Murrow. It was open, but I could see dresses from the window, so I didn't go in. It was about to be kind of weird, me going in and recording dresses. This store also has a long history. It's in the National Register of Historic Places. The store was built in 1896, and it was known as the Pitman Store. It housed Swansboro's first telephone operator's office, and it was also a post office at one time, like the Old Brick Store was. As we pass another closed store, We'll eventually get to the one store that I was able to go in and look around. The next building we get to houses the Salt Marsh Cottage, a store that was open, and I did go in and have a look. I tried to look up 108 Front Street to get a little history on this building, but couldn't find anything. But I did find a little bit of information on Swansboro. It was founded in 1730. It was officially incorporated in 1783 and named after Samuel Swan. He was a prominent figure in North Carolina's colonial government. Let's take a little stroll through the store and see what we have available. Much of Emerald Island looks like this. If you plan to rent an oceanfront house for a vacation, this might be a great place. But as far as a tourist destination, it's mostly residential. Like the Outer Banks in North Carolina, close to where I live. Lots of driving, not much to see. You have to get to the water to have any fun. And in this area, that's all private property. I was looking for the beaches, and I have been following the signs, and I have yet to see one that says public beach access. I found a soundside access, but I wanted to show you the ocean. I don't know if I'll get a chance to or not. So I'll check back in with you when it gets a little bit more interesting. When I first set out to find a beach, I couldn't find one on a nice day, but on this rainy day, the next day, I did find a public access beach area. It's raining, it's miserable, the camera's getting wet, I'm getting wet, and it's so humid that I'm sweating in the cold. Anyhow, I'm walking up this hill, and I'm watching the couple in front of me, and when I see them turn around and come back, I know that it's not worth the trip. Right there, they decide to. So I pressed ahead anyhow to get a glimpse of the ocean water, and while I was expecting to see that emerald green, beautiful green water, I saw the typical Atlantic Ocean water that I see in Virginia Beach. It's not blue, it's kind of dull blue, gray. Not as appealing as what you see in photographs. Anyhow, I wanted to give you a glimpse, and that's all that you're going to get, because it's nasty out here. One of the impressions I had when I was looking at everything on a map when planning this trip was, it gave me a distinct impression for some reason that Cedar Point was like in the middle of nowhere. The campground would be deep in the wilderness. The fact is almost a city attraction. This is far from deep in the wilderness. Now the campground is well isolated, but it's like 2 miles from here. You are very close to everything. I'm looking around at all of the RV parks that are here, and they're going for $80 to $100 and some odd dollars a night. And we're staying at Cedar Point. It's a federal campground. We're lifetime members of America the Beautiful Pass, which is a 50% discount on camping. So we're staying in our campground for under $20 a night with full electricity. Doesn't have full hookups, but we carry all the water that we use. I generally don't connect to campground water unless I have to. And I don't care if we have a sewer line hooked up or not, because you can go to the dump station when you leave. Anyhow, this is Cedar Point. And if you're thinking that the campground, when you check it out, is out in the wilderness in the woods somewhere, well, it technically is, but you're 2 miles from all of this. And there's a lot to do here, and I was going to go check out a couple of the sites. I've dropped Candy and the dogs off so that I don't have to worry about the air conditioning, and she doesn't have to put up with the multiple stops. So we'll check in on our first place in a moment. So as I drive around Swansboro, I come upon this place that caught my eye a number of times. Every time I passed it, I said, I need to go in there. So this time, I will. And it's a unique place called Amuse Me. There's more to see than there is to say, so I thought I would do something different this time. Some of you may or may not know that I'm also a songwriter, so I'm going to put this video together here along with one of my songs about the old days, because there's a lot of stuff in this building here that is connected to the old days. They seem to go hand in hand, and maybe it'll make it more enjoyable to watch. So let's go ahead and get set up to go in here. I think you're thoroughly going to enjoy this place. For me, it was a pleasant surprise. I've been in junk stores before. This is not a junk store. It's a trip through memory lane. I do hope you enjoy the music that I'm putting with this. Leave me a comment and I'll do more in future videos.
Can you imagine seeing Mom laugh and smile again? Or cross a busy road holding tight Poppy's hand? Listening to crickets through an open screen door, hoping for a cool breeze to roll through the night. In the 50s and the 60s, we didn't have AC. Trying to sleep, wiping off sweat with your hand. A good night was some quiet and a cool breeze. Rich, you might be sleeping under a fan. Take me back in time when the world moved so slow, when love was loud, time was weaved in silver and gold. Love could be found at night on a front porch swing. Joy was holding hands and letting the crickets sing. No need for something more, just bring back days of old. I remember when time was weaved in silver and gold. I remember when time was weaved in silver and gold. Grandma's cooking her famous dandelion stew. Daddy would be at work dreaming up something new. Pappy would be in the shed working on an old yazoo, getting it to start. He threw tools and bad words too. Love could be found at night on a front porch swing. Joy was holding hands and letting the crickets sing. No need for something more, just bring back days of old. I remember when time was weaved in silver and gold. silver and gold. Take me back in time when the world moved slow, when love was loud and political fires burned low. Love could be found at night on a front porch swing. Joy was holding hands and letting the crickets sing. No need for something more, just bring back days of old. I remember when time was weaved in silver and gold. I remember when time was weaved in silver and gold.
This Jimmy Buffett bike caught my eye, so I decided to check it out. That's only a decal. He didn't sign it. Oh well, could have been a High Point. This building is simply amazing. I actually have about a half hour to 45 minutes of video on it. I don't think I'll be able to put all of that in here, but if you would like to see everything in this store, let me know, and I'll make a separate video for it. These bottles here, when I was growing up, they were all over the place, and they were worth between 3 cents and a nickel. So a kid could go out on a Saturday, spend an hour combing the ditches and combing the fields and pick up enough bottles to get enough money to go to the theater, buy popcorn and candy, and sit through a matinee. Those were the days. There is just so much in this store to show you, and I gotta admit, I really want to show it all, but I wouldn't have any viewers by the end of the tape, I'm afraid, because I don't have enough to say about it. I don't know enough about every item, but this place is just chock full of items from the past, items from the present, and maybe items from the future. You never know. I saw a lot of things in here that I remember so clearly seeing when I was a kid.
Okay, do you have our card?
Sure, I love it.
Okay, perfect.
This is an amazing place.
Oh,
I've never
that's so
seen
nice to
anything
hear.
like it in 71 years.
Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
So this is an old tobacco pack house, a real one, over 100 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know the whole history of it, but I know that these buildings were moved at some point.
Okay.
I don't know where from, but apparently I think the family that lived here worked out of these buildings.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the one next door to us over here, that orange peachy color house
Right.
over there is also part of our village as well.
Well, what I'll do is when this video is up, it's probably about 6 weeks before I do it,
Okay.
because I've still got an inventory of places that aren't up yet.
Yeah.
But I will contact you and you'll know where to see it.
Oh,
It's
perfect.
favorable, so don't worry.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Let me give you one of my cards too.
Okay.
My booth is over next door in that orange house. This is mine here. I'm Kathy.
Kathy Bogue Creations. So what do you make?
I make the hand
Okay.
embroidery jewelry and just little, I usually do little whimsy works like gnomes and I've got
And that's sold here?
it is, yes, I
Okay.
sell these here, and then I've got my little ocean friends.
Cool. That's wonderful. Is your section in this room?
It's actually in the house, that orange house next door. That's our vendor market. So
Okay.
everyone in the area has booths.
Okay.
And there and sells their either their crafts, or we have vintage clothes. We have lots of different things.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I'll finish my look around,
Okay,
and I'll let you know
gotcha.
when this is ready. Thank you. This place is amazing. I feel like I'm in a toy store. If you like arrowheads, they sure do have them here. These pipes bring back some really fond memories. One of my favorite uncles was a pipe smoker, my Uncle Sam. When I was growing up, I remember just about every single one of these cameras. They were very popular and everybody had them. You couldn't go to any kind of family event without a Polaroid, at least one being at each party or each gathering. You know, as I look at these cameras and look at the log of video that I've got, I'm not even halfway through with everything that I saw at Amuse Me. But I'm going to have to go ahead and cut it off here and get on with the rest of the attractions.
Nice meeting you too.
If you want to see more about Amuse Me, let me know, and I'll consider figuring a way to put it together in a video for you. That was an experience. I wasn't expecting it. We're going to have lunch at a restaurant in Emerald Island called Gaffer's. Gaffer's was originally at a different location, is that correct?
Correct.
And it burned down. It didn't burn down. The hurricane took it down, and they rebuilt here at this location that we're heading to now. I've got my trusty little doggy Nico, who likes to ride behind me. And I've got my wife, and the rest of the crew is in the car. It's really hot today, so I'm concerned that the car is not going to be able to keep up with the air conditioning when it's in a parked mode. So that could change our plans if I'm not comfortable. The dogs are in a cozy little waiting area in the car until we get finished. Anyhow,
in 1/10 of a mile, turn right.
We'll be there in a few minutes. Actually, it's fairly close. So I will get back with you.
VFW Road.
I will get back with you when we have something new. Okay, we're here at Gaffer's. I'll tell you what. Everything is so close to Cedar Point.
Yeah, that is so true.
I mean, I've not yet found a more convenient campground than Cedar Point. We were here in about 5 minutes. This is what Gaffer's looks like. We got an outside bar over there, and I'll show it to you when we get out of the car. We are a little bit early, so we have to wait. I'd rather be early, and we're going to get a seat right there at that window where I can keep a watch on the dogs. If it were me alone, we'd be sitting outside, but Candy can't take the heat, so we'll sit inside. The dogs will be in here with the air conditioning, and I've got the thermometer that I can remotely monitor. I don't think you can see it, but I can read it with my phone, and we can make sure that the car's staying cold. Right now, we got the windows open so that I can give the car a little break before its mammoth parking air conditioning run. So I'll check back in a few. Gaffers now. We're getting ready to go in and eat. They have a nice outdoor bar. And in spite of it being hot today, it's actually got a nice ocean breeze. You could sit outside, although my wife Candy won't. Gaffers is a very nice restaurant, very well laid out, very well organized, and I was expecting a great experience, but more on that in just a moment. Our waitress doesn't want to be seen, so I need to block her out. We asked her, but she said no. Unfortunately, they're playing licensed music, so I have to drown it out and not get a copyright strike, but hopefully
Yeah,
not
so
too
my
loud.
cocktail, beer, and wine lists are going to be there.
Okay.
Do a Bloody Mary if you'd like. Do Tito's, Absolute,
Okay.
Goose,
Nope, those did shell.
House. Okay.
Yeah.
Spicy or non-spicy?
Middle, some
Okay.
apple,
Yes, ma'am.
and some kind of rim.
Yeah, and there's a tahini
Okay.
on it and everything. So, you want to do water as well?
Not yet, I'll probably do a Diet Coke later.
Okay.
I like to get ice water with lemon.
Ice water with lemon. Okay, not a problem. Y'all take your time with the menu. We do have a flounder basket available as well. Okay.
A flounder basket?
Yes, it's going to be a fried flounder with fries, hush puppies, and coleslaw.
How much is that?
$21.99.
Okay. So we are in a fancy restaurant, I guess you could call it fancy, and we are in a resort area. So keeping things in perspective, the meal prices are not terrible, but still it cost me $70 to get out of here for lunch. I thought that was a little high, but had I loved it, it would have been $70 well spent. They had a lot of great menu items and they have a great reputation. Maybe it was the day we were here. I don't know. But I ended up getting the mahi-mahi sandwich, and they cooked the mahi-mahi so thoroughly I couldn't tell even if it was fish. It was something. And my wife got the seafood or shrimp gumbo, I guess it was, and she said it was decent, but I don't think it was excellent. The drink we got, I had a water. She got what looked to me to be about a 6-ounce Bloody Mary, and it was $15 or $16. I'm probably old school, but honestly, a $70 lunch needs to make me go woo-hoo, and this made me go boo-hoo. Of course, I don't even know it yet because I'm spilling the beans before we ever got the food. Because of the background music, I'm having to ad-lib this quite a bit to get the music out and the pertinent information in. So the Ford Escape is doing a great job at keeping the temperature down. The doggies around there are probably actually a little too cold, and that's fine with me because they keep warm with their fur. I'll check it again in a bit. It's time for a doggy check. Some people would say I'm a little over the top when it comes to my dogs. And I'm going to have to agree with that. They're very important to me. I don't want anything bad to ever happen to my babies. Hey. Hey. That's my baby talk. They recognize it as being affectionate. They're okay. How you doing?
Hey, hi, no.
Area is asking.
Do you want a fried grilled or blackened gaff, sir?
Which is better?
I typically get mine blackened if that's what I use.
You taste better blackened? Okay, again, I have to talk over the
Anything else?
commercial music that they're playing and insert my own music and do a little bit of ad-lib here. But let me describe the food for you. It looks like it has the makings of a wonderful meal. But the French fries weren't fresh. The fish was cooked beyond recognition. And Candy says hers was okay. If it were a $35 meal, I wouldn't be saying a word. But we paid $70 before we got out of here because I still give a tip. It's not the waitress's fault. She did a good job. It was the cook's fault. And I'm not even sure that a cook made this. I personally will not go back to Gaffer's, but I still think because of its great reviews and the number of customers that said it was good, I think we just had a bad experience. So give it a try and let me know what you think. I would love to hear how wrong I am about Gaffer's. I am going to send a note to Gaffer's about this video and let them have a look, because I actually want to be fair. Everything about this place pointed to a great experience. We didn't have one. If they want me to come back and try it again and redo my video with a new review, I will be happy to. I'll spend the money and book the trip and make another stop at Cedar Point Campground just to get back here to Gaffer's. We came here because of their reputation, so I have to rely on that there is something to that. We just didn't have a good experience. That box of food you see us carrying out went home and actually went into the trash. But Gaffer's, we're going to give you another chance if you want it. I think you earned it from your reputation.
All right, so a little disappointed. It was very expensive, and the sandwich that I got was a mahi, and it was cooked till it was dry. And it was, there's a lot of people here, so I may be the loner on not liking it.
They're known for flounder here, so.
But I didn't care for it, and I thought it was overpriced. I don't know how Candy felt about her shrimp and grits.
It was good.
So, all in all, with the tip and all, we spent $72 for lunch. I think that's a little outrageous. So anyhow, we're heading, I'll tell you where we're heading when we figure it out. Out to get a few more scenes, a couple more sights. Take two. Well, I'm on my way out to get a couple more videos going. I had planned on after lunch getting out and going to a fort and some other interesting places, but I decided to take a nap. It ended up being a 4-hour nap, so I blew my day. Anyhow, we'll see what I get into. I'm heading to downtown Swansboro.
I did the walking tour of Swansboro earlier, so now I'm going to do a quick drive-through to give you a little bit better concept of what this old town looks like. Then we'll move on. Unlike a lot of the old towns, I noticed that just about everything here is occupied. All the homes are occupied, all the businesses are occupied, and when you get here, I can't quite explain it. You've got a good feeling in you. It makes you not want to leave. and you're not sure about why. I think I could live here. I know I've said it before, but there's a lot of places I could live, and this is surely one of them. That house was built in 1890. And up ahead, we're back at the old brick store. Been there since the 1800s, and it's going to be there into the 2400s, I'm sure. It's quite breezy, and my microphone picks up everything. So I did order a noise canceling microphone to use in my future videos, and I'm going to give it a shot here. Probably in the next video you'll see. Even if I used old video, I'll probably put something new in it just to get a test on this new microphone. It's quite an investment in little doodads to get these videos to look right. I'm the doodad king, so I'll have everything I need. Maybe not when I started, but by the time I have 1,000 subscribers, I will be equipped for grip. As we get a little further down the street, we have a creamery, an espresso store, cold drinks. I really wanted to go in there, but I didn't want to do it without Candy. If she found out about it, and she would, when she sees this video, she would say, "How could you leave me out?" You know how that works, guys. So I will deny myself so that I don't have to deny my wife. That's the way to do this. And then coming up here is a right nice complex. Has quite a few different stores in it. I really should have made a better note at everything. Maybe you can see them on the fence here. I can't. But this looks like a nice place to visit. If I spent the night in Swansboro or a few nights, I would definitely patronize probably all of these places and stand in line for that drugstore hamburger joint.
On YouTube. You didn't do nothing.
I'm not sure what this fellow was asking me. I told you before I'm a little hearing impaired. I don't know if I gave him the right answer. Sounded like he said, "What are we doing?" I have no idea. He might have given me a good lead on a good video. Who knows? And this pretty much takes us into the residential area, which I'm sure you're not extremely interested in. So let's cut out of here and then get into some more action. So take two. So for today's last effort, we're going to head to the Crystal Coast beaches. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's maybe a 15-minute drive from the campground. This is a very convenient campground to lots of attractions. So I'll check back with you once we get to the Crystal Coast. So there's a specific sign here that says if you don't have a boat trailer attached to your vehicle, you can't park here. So again, I reiterate, there's no public beach parking that I have found so far in Emerald Island. I did find the one public beach access that I showed you at the beginning of the video when it was raining and nasty. And there's a decent sized parking lot there, a fairly decent walk to the beach. But if you come to the Emerald Isle area for the beach, you will find it there. But to be totally honest, unless you've rented a house in this area on the beach, you're wasting your time coming back here. There is not much to do if you're not renting a place or traveling specifically to that public beach area.
Maybe we make a look at here.
Okay, we're heading out to have lunch. We're going to a place called Angie's, and it's off Route 58 in a place called Cape Carteret or Carteret. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I don't think she's sure either. But it's nearby. We're going to give it a try. I'll check in with you when we get there.
We've been here 4 days, and honestly, we haven't had a good meal yet. We've spent a lot of money, but we haven't had a good meal yet. I should have gone to Taco Bell, to be honest. Let's see how Angie's does. The first good sign, it's clean. The second good sign, it smells good. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I'll go out and check on that.
Bonus, the prices are reasonable here.
I'm gonna get the mushroom Swiss burger.
We requested a seat on a table and was jokingly told no. But of course he smiled and brought us to this table.
What's our next stop today?
Probably Beaufort.
Beaufort?
Well, I think they call it here in North Carolina Beaufort.
Yeah, it is Beaufort, yeah.
It's Beaufort here, but it's spelled the same way in South Carolina, but they call it Beaufort.
Alright, well, let's enjoy our lunch and we'll get out of here.
Okay, thank you.
And now it's time for the big dog to check on the little dogs. I can't relax unless I know they're okay. There's so much that can go wrong with air conditioning and engines. I do not take more than about a 15-minute chance on my dogs. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Everybody good? You look cool and cozy. You all right? Yeah. All right, I'll be back. Dogs are good to go.
Chicken fried steak, 2 eggs, fries, and toast.
Always is.
Mushroom Swiss burger. Fries.
I am happy to report this was a good meal, and it was reasonably priced. We had lunch for $30-something, and we left full, we left satisfied, and I ate all of mine. Candy can't eat all of hers. She always buys more than she can eat. But Angie's is highly recommended for a place to get something good to eat and not break your bank. Be sure to check them out and tell them the guy from RV Travel, that's not my name, the guy from Travel RV sent you. Be sure to tell them that, because I'm going to send them this video and let them know they got a good review. My only complaint was I wish they would have asked me if I wanted lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and onion on it. I would have said, by all means. But it's still delicious, and it still filled me up, and I'm still 100% happy. So unless you're sitting at home getting your thrills watching us eat our lunch, we're going to move on. Angie's is a recommendation. So as you can see, we had a great meal, and it was a little more than I said, 37, but we're very happy. Beaufort is nice for a drive around. There's a lot of historic things to see. And one of the highlights is the old burial ground, which I did go in. And I did get the brochure, and I'll give you a little information on what the old burial ground has in it. It's quite interesting, has a lot of history. Beaufort is a tourist trap. You can't park anywhere without paying. You can't find a parking space even if you want one. And everything seems to be expensive, except for this graveyard. It was free. It's on the corner of Ann and Craven, I believe that says. So I'm going to get a parking spot up here in the handicap because of Candy. I do have a handicap sticker, so I can get away with it, even though people see me walk away from the vehicle and call me names sometimes in their head. I'm a little bit disabled too. I just try not to act like it. Okay, I'm here at the old burying ground in Beaufort, North Carolina. And it says deeded to town in 1731 by Nathaniel Taylor, Captain Ottaway Burns of the War of 1812. My original intention was to take the videos to each of the grave sites and give you a rundown on all the historic sites. But the engravings in most of these stones are so thoroughly washed out, it was impossible for me to figure out exactly who was where. So instead, I'm going to give you a little bit of history about this. The Beaufort Old Burying Ground was located in the historic district of Beaufort. The town's oldest cemetery dates back to the early 1700s. It holds a rich history reflecting the town's 300-year heritage, and it reflects the lives of its early settlers. The cemetery was initially used for the Anglican church services in St. John's Parish. In 1731, Nathaniel Taylor deeded the land to the town of Beaufort following the initial town survey. The northwest corner of the cemetery is the oldest section, containing many unmarked graves dating back to the early 18th century. Early graves were often marked with shells, brick, or wood due to the difficulty of transporting stone from afar. Some of the graves feature vaulted brick structures to protect them from high water and wild animals. The cemetery includes the graves of very notable figures like Captain Ottaway Burns, a privateer in the War of 1812, and the crew of the Chrissy Wright, who perished in a shipwreck. A legend tells of a child who died at sea and was buried in a rum keg, whose grave is a popular site in the cemetery. I didn't find that. The cemetery was closed by the General Assembly in 1825, but the town continued to use it for burials until the early 1900s. The cemetery is known for its ghostly stories and is a popular destination for ghost tours. Y'all know I don't believe in that mess, but I was very impressed with the cemetery, and I'm glad I had a chance to see it. In summary, the Beaufort Old Burying Ground is a significant historical site and is worth the trip to Beaufort. I'm not sure that anything else is worth the trip to Beaufort. You'll have to decide that for yourself. Aside from this cemetery, we did attempt to visit a lot of areas for Beaufort. Beaufort, North Carolina is a historic coastal town known for its maritime history and well-preserved colonial structure. It was founded in 1709. It is the third oldest town in the state and boasts a rich past as a fishing village, port, and shipbuilding center. It's also known for its association with pirates, including Blackbeard, and surviving various historical events like the Civil War. Now, with that being said, we traveled through Beaufort, and I didn't find a single place that I wanted to stop. I did want to stop at the waterfront, but every single parking spot was taken, and there was a sign you had to pay to park. And I had a car with a carriage on the back. It didn't fit in any of the parking spaces if I had found one. So we looked at the graveyard, drove around a few streets, and left.
See, I'm stopping at a little place called Riverview Park.
It's located here in Swansboro, and it has great views of the water.
We just had to do a battery change. We'll pick back up from right here. You're definitely in a protected area, that's for sure. Estuaries are protected areas such as bays and lagoons, where freshwater meets and mixes with salt water. The leaves of dog fennel are divided into 3 segments, giving a fern-like appearance. When disturbed, they make a foul odor. We'll be sure not to disturb any of those. I've had my share of foul odors in life. We could go that way, but let's just take a look here at the salt marsh. I wasn't expecting Swansboro to be so beautiful. Jones Island Overlook. I left my glasses in the motorhome, so I'm wearing these big old honkies. I don't normally like them. It's a progressive lens, and my eyes get weaker when I wear these. So I wear a progressive set that starts with no correction at all. So when I look upwards, my eyes have to learn to focus. And it does help. My eyes will never be young again, but these glasses, while they give you clear vision for the moment, you end up blind as a bat when you take them off. We'll go check out some more areas, some more touristy things. Kind of a touristy area, but not overdone. I like it here. I could live here. Good morning, folks. We're on our way to visit an old friend.
Orlando.
His name is Orlando, yeah. His family used to own a historic landmark in Norfolk, Virginia called Venezio's. And it was an Italian restaurant that spanned decades. My mom and dad used to bring me there when I was just a kid.
And my mom and dad.
And her mom and dad. It's a real landmark in the area. Anyhow, Orlando, who's about our age, has relocated to Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, and he opened up his own place called Venice Italian Kitchen. So we're going to be heading there for lunch. We know it's going to be good, and we'll give you a report when we get there.
It said that.
So right now we're in Morehead City. I wanted to give you a peek. It's not much to look at, just a resort highway, 4 lanes, plus turn lanes going through business district, all the way from where we were at the Swansboro area heading to Atlantic Beach. There's a variety of restaurants here and shopping, so if you wanted to come to this area, you could find plenty to do. There's my favorite place, Harbor Freight. Anyhow, I'll resume this once we get to Atlantic Beach. You enter Atlantic Beach by crossing over this big bridge that goes over the water, and right on the other side, the business district starts. And Venice Italian Kitchen is in the first patch of shopping centers on the right. So we'll be turning in there in a moment and having lunch. I won't keep you in suspense. Orlando's food is always good. I've never had a bad meal from Orlando. And this is a place to go get fairly inexpensive lunch that will fill you up and has a very original Italian flavor to it. All right, here we are at my friend's place in Atlantic Beach. They are an institution. Unfortunately, I can't seem to eliminate this light effect that happens sometimes with LED-driven lamps. As you can see from the menu, this is a very reasonably priced restaurant in an expensive
resort area. Orlando's prices are right on the money. When you go visit him, be sure to tell him Bill and Candy sent you. He'll know who it is. As I recall, we spent about $30 for lunch, and we ended up both taking home enough to have dinner as well.
Bill.
Huh?
It says limiting protein, sodium, phosphates, and potassium.
Was that low?
So I'm going to finish this video with our visit here at Venice Italian Kitchen. We've had a long trip. I have a lot of footage to show you, but we're at the over hour mark, and I really didn't want to have an hour-long video, but I wasn't sure how to fit enough of it in. So I fit in what I thought works. Anyhow, it's at that time again when we have to say goodbye. And I know it's a very sad time, but the high point is I'll have a new video for you next week. So I hope you will subscribe. I hope you will share our link. I need to get well past this subscriber mark that I'm at, or it's not worth my time to do this. I need your help to get there. Please subscribe, and we'll see you again next week.